Before we start, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. Many viewers watch the videos but forget to subscribe, and they miss important information later. When you subscribe, you support this research and help me continue bringing you rare coin knowledge that can change how you look at old coins in your home. So go ahead, click the subscribe button now, and let us begin. Today we are talking about a coin that many people in South Africa have seen, used, and held without realizing what it could become in the future. This is the 2 Rand coin from the year 2003. When this coin was first released, it was just another coin used for daily trade. You could use it to buy small items, pay for transport, or pass it along in change without thinking twice. But as time passed, something interesting began to happen. Many coins were lost, melted, damaged, or simply disappeared through years of circulation. Some were taken to other countries, some were kept in drawers, and some were forgotten in old wallets. But a small number of these coins survived in much better condition. These few coins are where the real value sits today. The story of the 2 Rand coin begins with the image on the front. It shows the kudu, a tall and strong antelope known for its pride, style, and graceful horns. In the wild, the kudu stands with a steady look that shows both power and calm. The designers selected the kudu for the 2 Rand coin because it represents the natural beauty of South Africa and the strength of its wildlife heritage. Men who grew up in the 70s, 80s, and 90s remember seeing kudu in magazines, nature programs, or even during safaris. The kudu was a symbol of freedom and the open land, and on the other side of the coin is the South African coat of arms, a symbol that speaks of unity, culture, and national pride. In 2003, the country was going through new development, new identity, and a growing message of unity. This coin was part of that time. It carries history not only in metal, but in meaning. When a coin holds history, culture, and identity, collectors start paying attention. But not every 2 Rand coin from 2003 is valuable. This is where things get interesting. Value in coins comes from rarity, condition, and demand. Rarity means that not many survive in good condition. Condition means the coin must still have clear design details. And demand means collectors are actively searching for it. Most coins that were used daily became scratched, faded, or damaged. But a few coins stayed in drawers, sealed containers, old collections, bank bags, and safes. Those are the coins that are now becoming rare. People between the ages of 55 and 65 understand the meaning of time. You have seen how small things become valuable when the world changes. You have seen prices rise, products disappear, and items that were cheap once become expensive later. It is the same with coins. A coin that once bought a loaf of bread can now be worth enough to buy groceries for the entire family for a month. The 2 Rand 2003 coin has started climbing in collector value because fewer clean and original coins remain. Collectors now search for coins with original shine, sharp details on the kudu's horns, and a clear coat of arms. There is also something special about the year 2003 in South African coin history. That year had changes in minting processes and circulation levels. Some batches had lower production numbers or different metal quality. So when collectors notice a year where fewer coins remain in high condition, the price begins to rise. In some collector circles, the 2 Rand 2003 coin is now seen as a hidden piece of value, similar to how old pennies became priceless in other countries. Men in their late 50s and 60s often think about legacy and memory. You may have children or grandchildren. One day, the items you leave behind tell your story. Imagine handing down a coin, not because it is just money, but because it is a piece of history that grew in value year by year. Coins like this become a quiet form of wealth. They do not need electricity. They do not lose value through rust if stored well, and they do not depend on markets that rise and fall. A rare coin is a slow-building treasure. If you are listening now, I want you to think carefully. Do you have old coins kept somewhere? A metal tin? A wooden drawer? A box under the bed? A small bag in a cupboard? Many valuable coins are not in museums or vaults. They are in homes. They are waiting. People often sell old coins as bulk scrap or give them away without knowing their worth. Knowledge is the difference between throwing away value and keeping value. This is why you must examine your old 2 Rand coins. Look at the date. If you have one from 2003, check its condition. Hold it under light and look for shine. Look at the horns of the kudu. Look at the clarity of the coat of arms. Even if it looks used, do not rush to sell it. Some collectors also take coins in circulated condition if the design is still clear. Now, I know what you were waiting for. You want to know the current collector value. So here it is. In certain collector markets, when this 2 Rand 2003 coin is found in excellent preserved condition, without scratches, dents, or discoloration, it has been valued at around $1,200. Yes, you heard that right. A coin that once bought a small item in daily life can today carry a value strong enough to surprise most people. So subscribe to this channel to keep learning. The next valuable coin might already be in your home. Before we dive into today's story, make sure to subscribe. If you've ever held history in your hands or wondered if something from your past might be worth a small fortune, this is exactly the kind of journey you don't want to miss. Go ahead, hit that button and join the community of collectors, historians, and those who know that value isn't always just about money. Sometimes it's about memory. Now let's begin. Some coins are just coins, metal, minted, and forgotten. But then there are others, the rare ones, the ones with a story that cuts through time, wrapped in the dust of politics, economics, and identity. Today, we're going back to a time when South Africa was standing at the edge of dramatic change, 1990, the year of shifts, shocks, and something quietly powerful, the minting of the 2 Rand coin that would come to mean far more than its face value. Let me take you there. It was a time of tension and hope. Nelson Mandela was released from prison after 27 years. The apartheid system was beginning to crumble under the weight of international pressure and internal resistance. The country was changing. And as always, money, the coins in people's pockets, was silently witnessing every moment. The 1992 Rand coin wasn't the first of its kind, but it stood at a unique crossroads in South Africa's history. It carried with it the face of Jan van Riebeeck, the Dutch colonial administrator who has long been a symbol of European arrival in southern Africa. His image had been used before, but by 1990, it no longer meant the same thing it once did. This coin represented the last breath of an old order, minted at the end of an era and just before a new dawn. At a glance, it looked ordinary, silver-colored, slightly heavy in the palm, the kind of coin you might toss into your glove compartment or lose between the couch cushions. But for those who understand coins, it wasn't ordinary at all. What made it special? First, the mintage was limited. South Africa didn't produce large numbers of the 1992 Rand, especially not in uncirculated or proof condition. Many coins from that era were lost, spent, melted down, or simply worn away in the day-to-day rhythm of life. Very few remain today in excellent condition, and even fewer in pristine, untouched state. Second, the materials. This coin wasn't made with cheap, throwaway metal. The alloy used gave it not only strength but a shine that, under the right light, still glimmers with a sense of authority. For collectors, metal composition is everything. And when a coin stands the test of time without corrosion, without fading, that's when ears perk up. But let's go deeper. Beyond the physical and historical, there's the emotional. If you were living in or connected to South Africa in 1990, you remember the feeling, the uncertainty, the tension, the hope. Holding a coin from that year is like holding a snapshot of history. And the 2 Rand was part of everyday life. Buying bread, paying for transport, given as change, slipped into a child's piggy bank. It's more than just a collector's item. It's a symbol of a nation on the edge. That's why today, more than 30 years later, this coin is not just a collector's prize. It's a story frozen in time. And stories? Well, the best ones get more valuable with age. Now, you might be wondering, what's it really worth? Let me be clear. Not every 2 Rand coin from 1990 is going to fetch a fortune. Many were used and abused, and they're worth only a little more than their face value. But every now and then, a gem emerges. A coin kept safe in a drawer, uncirculated, protected, a proof strike with crisp details and mirror-like finish. That's when the numbers start to climb. Recently, the right kind of 1992 Rand coin, graded, authenticated, and preserved in excellent condition, has made waves in the collector market. Serious collectors and investors are watching these pieces with growing interest. Why? Because history is hot, because supply is low, because meaning matters, and because rare coins like this don't just carry metal, they carry memory. This is where things get interesting. When supply is tight and demand rises, prices surge. Auction houses have seen strong bidding wars over these coins, especially among collectors who lived through the era or who collect coins tied to transitional periods in history. And it makes sense. This isn't just currency, it's conversation. It's legacy. It's an heirloom, which brings us to the part you've been waiting for. One such 1992 Rand coin, properly graded, in near-perfect condition, with provenance and market demand backing it, has been valued at up to $29,500. Yes, you heard that right. Almost $30,000 for a coin that might once have bought a loaf of bread. That's the power of rarity. That's the power of time. Now ask yourself, do you have one? Maybe in an old box, a jar on a shelf. Maybe your father kept one, or your grandfather. These coins were part of the everyday world not that long ago. But their value? That has changed completely. So before you dismiss those old coins gathering dust in the attic or lying forgotten in a drawer, take a closer look. You might just be holding history. You might just be holding a treasure. And remember, the past isn't as far away as it seems. Sometimes, it fits right in the palm of your hand. Subscribe now if you haven't already. This is just one of many stories waiting to be uncovered. What's hiding in your collection? What stories are your coins trying to tell? Keep watching. Keep discovering. And never underestimate the value of something that has stood the test of time.